What's up, trash talkers? Hey, happy Thanksgiving. No show this Saturday. All right, we're going to take it off for the holidays, but we will give you some NFL picks for the weekend because everybody loves football on Thanksgiving. Now, with me is Joe. So, Joe,
Absolutely.
how you doing?
Oh, we're hanging together. We had plans for the in-laws to come down, but COVID shut that down because they're in Michigan. So mom went ahead and bought Thanksgiving dinner at our local grocery store already pre-cooked because she wanted to do something nice. So, dude, no cooking other than sides tomorrow. So
Nice.
legitimately
Yeah.
just football.
Hey, that's a good tip though for those of you that your wives or more of you Metro guys that like to cook nowadays and take away the masculinity of it. Make sure you take your wife out to dinner tonight or order in some takeout because they're going to be cooking hard tonight and tomorrow. So make sure you guys do that. Think about it. Now, I'm not going to apologize for last week. All right. Because if you have been betting with us for the last 10 weeks, all right, you made money. All right. And that hasn't been 10 weeks, it's been about 8. Like, you made money. And last week was the week that's why Vegas has all these big, tall, bright buildings. All right. Because every once in a while, they take everybody's money. And that's what they did last week. I am in a football pick'em pool with over 50 people, which I won last week. I was tied for the lead going into Monday night with 7 correct picks. 7. All right.
Out of how many?
50. 50 out of 14 games.
Yipes.
Right. And I was tied for the lead. So again, nobody picked those games to end the way they are. And as Joe brought up COVID is rearing its ugly head in the pick'ems again this week. So we'll get right into it. Keep this short and sweet so you guys can get to your holiday. Big shout out to our sponsors, Ventura Training and Athletics, and also 10th Mountain Whiskey. All right. Got it. Cheers. Bourbon is excellent. Put in the BTT code. All right. Go on our partners on our website, www.veterantrashtalk.com. All right. Go on there and check out our partners page. We have Zach Farkas with Cardinal Financial as well. So if you have any VA loan questions or anything like that, or thinking about refinancing, hit him up and he'll let you know if he can hook you up with a better deal than anybody around your local area. Anyways, let's get right into it. Never, ever bet against the Lions on Thanksgiving. Ever.
Unless Michael Vick's in town, then he will ruin your kid's day. Right. Because I remember that game. That was an ugly one.
I remember when the Packers were absolutely rolling with old Brett Favre, and I was in Vegas for this, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go bet on the Packers. You know, and my dad goes, "How much do you put down?" I had a pretty good night at the poker table the night prior, and I was like, "I put 200 down," and he was like, "Oh, that's gone." And I was like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, well, you don't bet against the Lions on Thanksgiving. Now, again, I never bet with emotion. And it's usually why I'm pretty successful. All right. However, this is the one time that I'm going to bet on emotion, and I'm going to take the Lions at +3. Okay. Now, I had a parlay set up because I'm also taking Washington at Dallas. Dallas is a 3-point favorite. I'm taking Washington with the points there as well, giving up 3. Those are my 2 picks for the locks tomorrow. And then I was going to moneyline Pittsburgh against Baltimore, but that game got moved because a bunch of Tennessee Titans tested positive. So now they have to take extra time so that they can test some of the Baltimore Ravens.
Contact tracing.
What a game that was. Oh, man.
Man.
I mean, that's one that hurt us, hurt the betting, but not a big deal. So, Joe, who do you got tomorrow? We got Houston at Detroit, Washington at Dallas. I'm going Detroit and Dallas.
It's like, do I do a Costanza and just every instinct you have is wrong? Go with the opposite. You're right. I will do the opposite. No, is DeAndre Swift coming back for Detroit?
He was at limited practice. Galladay's not coming back. So Galladay's out.
Their passing game looked so anemic without them. And Matt Patricia I don't know how he did it, but the speech at halftime sometimes is a big deal. People actually are legendary for their halftime speeches. He got 5 pounds fatter, Nick, at halftime. He literally came out and was 4'10" even. from 405. So his fat ass must have already gotten practice for a turkey leg. I guarantee you, Matt Patricia will. There's my lock. Matt Patricia maims somebody for grabbing the big piece of turkey tomorrow in the locker room. Could be his final day as a coach. You know,
yeah,
I'm taking the Lions. Man, they look like garbage last week, and I think if Stafford's hand could have been a factor. They had nobody on offense, so if I have to see them give a 47-year-old Adrian Peterson that many touches again when Kerryon Johnson is sitting there, your first-round draft pick from last year, can barely legally buy a beer, and like Peterson's telling him about the way the league was back in his day, and it's like, dude, you're still on the same team. But anyways, I'll take Detroit, and I'm gonna roll with Dallas as much as I can't stand that game or either one of those teams in the NFC least. But I'm gonna roll with ugly. Dallas.
So on the positive side for Detroit, they're still in the playoff hunt for that wild card. Now the trick is you want to get, I think it's the fifth one. You want to get that fifth seeded wild card because that's when you play the winner of the NFC East, as opposed to running into the NFC West, which is a nasty division, and then you don't want to run into the Packers in the playoffs because they're not going to leave anything back like they showed last year. San Francisco just a better team.
You almost got a Jim. Was it Jim Mora playoffs? You almost got one of those.
You talking about playoffs?
Playoffs? How about you have to a point?
You have to because Minnesota lost and Chicago's going to get roundhoused by freaking Green Bay on Sunday night. But all right, let's get into it. This
roll with it.
Talk about is Vegas at Atlanta. All right. Atlanta is a 3-point dog at home. Now, this is a trap game. I wouldn't bet on this one. I'm taking Vegas. Vegas is a better team, but you never know the emotions after facing your division rival at home and giving everything you got and just coming up a ball short, man. It was what a game that was. But I'm going to go Vegas. At Atlanta, take Vegas on that one. Now, here's my first lock of the week. You got the Chargers at Buffalo. Buffalo right now is a 5-point favorite. Buffalo is coming off of a bye week, and the Chargers have a rookie quarterback who's about to run into one of the best defenses in the NFL. And the Buffalo got healthy. I think you take the points there and take Buffalo giving up 5 and just take them. I think they're going to win hands down. Now,
I could see that game being a 28-14 game, no problem, with the way their defense is.
If the Chargers even get 14, I mean, you look at what is at Buffalo, you look at what they did to Russell Wilson. I mean, they beat him up.
And man, that you can talk about fans or home difference it makes a difference when you play in LA going to play in Buffalo in mid-November. It makes a big difference.
Right, defense is going to be the key part, and Buffalo's got them there. Giants. The New York Football Giants at the Cincinnati Bengals. All right.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, poor Joe Burrows on that one because that kid's a stud, and I've always said it. You don't put a rookie quarterback out there. I don't care how much you paid him and when you drafted him. If you don't surround him with weapons like Patrick Mahomes had as a rookie, you don't put him out there. You're going to get him killed. I mean, the guy, he's a player, and he got hurt. It was bound to happen because he gets sacked. He just gets hit constantly.
That point's a great one, man. That's the reason why the Packers have been so successful, and they're going to do it again. This Brandon Love kid is going to be like ready to kill Aaron Rodgers by the time they turn Brandon Love loose. And it's going to be like what the world got when Rodgers was finally turned loose. It is true, man. You groom those kids. Throwing them out there.
Rodgers had a rough first year because, hey, that's game speed. Like
the defensive ends are faster than you now. This isn't the days of Joe Theismann.
Right. And the linebackers can drop 30 yards downfield before you know it. It's crazy. So Giants are giving up 6 points on the road. All right. So they're a 6-point favorite on the road. I don't know if I touched that one with the spread, but if you're going to do a money line, throw something in there, you got to take the Giants on that one. Giants are
Who's playing backup for the Bengals?
Who cares? I didn't even look it up. But Daniel Jones, again, rough start to his career. And again, he rough start to the season. Saquon goes out, but he's he's starting to look like he knows how to play in the NFL now.
I like the kid.
Yep.
Yeah, I like him.
Now here's a tough one. Tennessee at Indy. Okay. I don't care. People are all over Indianapolis right now because they beat the Packers. All right. The Packers fumbled the ball like 15 times. All right. It's just one of those games that you're not going to win because the Packers refused to win it. And they were up 28-14. Didn't get a first down in the third quarter. Then they looked like unstoppable again in the fourth. And it's like, but then they fumbled.
And that was the right call with Rivers. But man, a centimeter, that was as close as it gets. And the only reason is because that arm was able to go. I mean, people would say Phillip Rivers doesn't have it, dude. Give me Phillip Rivers all day.
Right.
That dude's such a freaking gamer. And to be able to, he knew if I don't follow through with, I mean, you know what I mean? It didn't make it any more of a forward pass, but it sure looked like one.
And I do like how the refs call it a fumble. And, like that way you didn't screw the defense from getting the game-winning touchdown. However, as a Packer fan, I'm going to get emotional here, and I'm going to talk about the clock management that is I never have to usually talk about with Aaron Rodgers, but as they were driving down the field, right, they dropped in a too deep shell, and Rodgers was just piping it to Devontae Adams down the middle. Bam, 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 right? They got down to the 10-yard line with 46 seconds left, and they let the clock run down until they had one shot, and then they spiked the ball, and then they didn't have enough time to run two plays to throw it in the end zone. And he went for Adams. Tanyan got wide open in the corner. He missed them. They kicked a field goal. They win the coin toss. I'm feeling pretty good. Now, you throw it to the guy with the worst hands on our team. He's the fastest guy on our team on the Packers. They throw it to him on a bubble screen, catches it, and he fumbles it. Weird, bad hands. He's in overtime. He doesn't get it. He runs down. In overtime, all MVS should do is run down the field as fast as he can. All right. If nobody covers him, throw it to him. If not, he takes the safety out of the play. Right. Bad play calling, bad clock management. The only positive for that is LaFleur is a smart guy. He's not a cocky guy. He'll learn from that. He's a young coach. He'll learn from it. Not a big deal. He'll be a better coach from losing.
Something to having a young, in shape coach walking around who looks like an athlete. I wonder what that's like. Right.
Players respect
they roll Matt Patricia's fat ass out there.
So Tennessee at Indiana. Tennessee has the COVID bug, and they're missing their long snapper, but the other guys that tested positive aren't that big of a deal. They don't play that much, but I'm gonna go with Indy at home. All right, it's a -3. I'm gonna go with Indy on that one. Cleveland at Jacksonville. Yes, Cleveland is a threat. Why is Cleveland a threat? Because they have a running game and they have a defense. It's that simple. They could score 40 points with Odell, but they don't need to score 40. So I'm going to go Cleveland. They're giving up 6.5 at Jacksonville. Cleveland's going to roll in that game. I think Jacksonville's deflated, and Cleveland has to win. So let's go with that one. Here's the one I switched with the COVID bug. Carolina at Minnesota. All right, Minnesota currently is a 3.5-point favorite. Guess what this is for Teddy Bridgewater?
His revenge game.
It's a revenge game. Okay. Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater is going to come in there and he's going to hammer it. Okay.
He doesn't have to play either. And I'm getting the inside scoop from that down here is, Matt Rule, who they love down here. And it's nice to see a city actually give a guy a chance without burning him first season in before he implements anything. Right. But Bridgewater doesn't have to play. He doesn't have to play in this. He wants to play. And, Run CMC's out, so no McCaffrey.
But no Adam Thielen for Minnesota. He's out. So he's on the COVID bug.
Carolina really, man, their defense has got some young burners, and they get after the quarterback, and they really, really stymie the Lions. No Swift, no Galladay, but the Lions looked horrible. Stafford usually can make something happen, and they weren't letting them breathe. So that's a Carolina. Carolina looked good last week, man. I like them in that game.
Yeah, I think they're starting to gel with what they got. That's kind of what helps. But also Minnesota, they have who's that young kid they drafted from LSU? I can't remember his name, but he's receiver. He's a stud. But I'm brain farting. His name doesn't really matter. He's going to be the number one, and I don't know if he's ready for that. He's talented. He's talented enough, but I mean, he's going to be able to handle the number one cornerback. Maybe not. So then we got Arizona at New England. Damn it, Joe.
Oh,
I'm getting fed up with the New England bug. We had it.
I
We were
know.
cocky about it, and they're right there in every game. They're 4 plays away from being leaders in the AFC East.
Yeah,
I just
when it's over is when New England catches the Cam bug. And what I'm saying by that is, if Cam starts getting a lot of attention for what he says after the game, there's a locker room discord going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what I mean? Like right now he talks like Belichick. They asked him about where if he wanted to be a Patriot next year, and he's like, I want to beat the Cardinals. So he's still on board, and it doesn't seem like he's lost the locker room or anything like that, and he's stupid like that. But if Cam starts looking like he's unhappy, it's probably because Belichick secretly told him you're going to kick rocks after the season.
This could be a trap game. New England at home, Arizona. Man, you got to like watching Kyler Murray play. You got to like watching it, and he's got D-Hop. So I got to take Arizona in that game. New England just doesn't have the firepower on offense. Their defense keeps them in every game. They just don't have it. I don't know where.
You and I have had that conversation before about who you're throwing the ball to in the end.
Exactly.
And who you want throwing the ball. And Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins is a pretty solid option there.
Yeah, and I think New England has the Packers problem that the Packers had for the last 4 to 5 years until they got smart, was they have no deep threat. They have nobody that can stretch the field. I don't care if the guy can catch. It doesn't matter. If you don't keep the safeties honest, they're creeping up.
Did you even know that the Packers had that guy had a deep threat until you saw him play? Did you know before the season that guy's going to be a legit deep threat?
Yeah,
why
last
can't I
year,
think of his name?
MVS. Marquez. He played last year as well, and it's just
That's
like, man, he's
Stanley.
Yeah, he's fast. And then Alan Lazard's coming back, and he's still, he's good for the Pack, but we'll get into the Packers in a little bit. Take Arizona on that one, plus 2.5. New England's a 2.5 point dog at home. Miami at the Jets, plus 7. Now, like I said, the Jets can score now. And I called that last week. I said, I don't think it's going to happen, but could be one of the biggest upsets all week. Didn't happen, but they still put up some points. They got all the receivers back. Miami is coming off of laying a big giant turd against Denver, which one guy in our Pick'em League picked, which is insane. That guy was smoking some of that Colorado grass before he made that pick.
But he's the guy that doesn't make it to the draft and gets auto-picked. Right,
exactly, and then wins. So he has 12 kickers on his lineup. But like the problem is, again, here's when you talked about earlier about going to Buffalo, is when you go to Denver, right, that's that mile high air. Can't breathe.
Yeah, I got relatives out there, man.
And some of those guys might have had a problem with it. I'm not sure. There's teams got doctors that can handle this stuff and trainers that can handle this stuff. Maybe Miami just wasn't ready for that and laid a big egg. But Miami's bouncing back hard. They're going to beat the Jets. That's another. They're only a 7-point favorite because of how bad they looked. But I think they're going to roll. I don't think they can stop the Jets. Baltimore at Pittsburgh got moved to Sunday, possibly moving to Monday or Tuesday. All right, we don't know yet.
That just happened?
Yeah. It was supposed to be Okay. It was supposed to be tomorrow night.
Yeah.
They moved it, and they said it still could possibly get moved to Monday or Tuesday because of the positive Tennessee test. And because Baltimore just played Tennessee, they got to test all their guys. But Pittsburgh -4. Pittsburgh's 10-0. And Lamar Jackson is still running a high school offense, and everybody knows about it.
Yep.
I gotta go with Pittsburgh on this one at 4 points. It's almost a lock, but I still love Lamar Jackson's talent. So it's hard to ever lock against Lamar Jackson because you just never know.
Do you remember Ronnie Brown?
Yes.
Yeah. You and I remember that. Nobody else does, but. He's the guy that was a stud until the Wildcat got figured out. Mm-hmm. Now nobody knows about him. So just saying, I'm not saying Lamar's that type. I'm saying, but Lamar is going to have to surprise some people with some stuff because right now,
Lamar has to be able to throw the ball accurately.
Yeah,
he doesn't throw the ball accurately. Michael Vick could throw the ball accurately. He decided to get to dogfighting and weird stuff like that, but. and then he snapped his leg because running quarterbacks get hurt. So it's like it's what happens.
That's that's why that Michael Vick comparison is almost it's almost getting to the point where it's the Michael Jordan comparison. Like, just because a guy lines up under center with a single digit on his chest and runs a 4.2, don't think for 2 seconds Michael Vick wasn't a quarterback. Michael Vick could play the position.
Yeah, he played a national title game, didn't he, for Virginia Tech? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, and like I said, he was accurate. He was the first quarterback to ever beat Green Bay in a playoff game.
Came back for the Eagles and had like 5 touchdowns on Monday night one night after he got out of prison.
Yeah, he could throw the ball. And again, you have the Lamar cult. There's a cult following there, and his throwing is just not good. It's not. He's like at 62% completion percentage. He's well below the average, right? Yeah. And when you're running triple option,
have I been studying my Booker Earl properly? Would that put us in the middle of the bell curve? We're the people that don't think he sucks because he's not a white quarterback, and don't think he sucks. I mean, excuse me, you know what people say.
Yeah, careful,
Well, I'm just saying, like, oh, well, black quarterback's only going to be able to run fast. There's that side. And then there's a side that thinks he can do no wrong. You and I are in the middle, where let's go meritocracy. What do you do on first, second, third, and fourth down?
Which again, I don't ever want to make a lock against him because of how athletic and good he is. It's just, and the Steelers are proving the point that the Patriots did for years, and Packers are trying to do, is you don't pay wide receivers. So they find these guys, and they run the ball and they throw to you don't have to pay a receiver. You don't.
Yeah, I got a
play caller
theory about that.
The play caller needs to get the receiver open. All right. And then if you have a bunch of slow receivers, ain't nobody getting open in the NFL. All right. Let's get going here. New Orleans at Denver. Ooh, this is close to a lock. New Orleans is only a 6-point favorite.
Ooh.
At Denver.
All right.
Denver getting a little bit of love for their win against Miami.
Who's taking the snaps for New Orleans?
It don't matter. That Saints train is coming. All their weapons are back. And like Taysom Hill, he's a better athlete than Lamar. He's a better athlete than everybody in the NFL.
He might be pulling the Bridgewater, man. He might be playing himself into a starting contract next year. He might be pulling the old Matt Castle, even though I think he'd be a better quarterback than Matt Castle.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I'm taking New Orleans on that one. And then you got San Francisco at the Rams. Rams are 6.5-point favorites right now at home. Rams are the big win over Tampa Bay. Rams are the big win over Seattle the week before. They're clicking. That's my second lock.
Yeah,
so
buddy.
You're taking the Rams. Don't think about it. Don't even think about taking Frisco. And now watch.
I
Frisco
can't believe that line. I mean, that's only because it's the NFL. But I mean, in college, that line would be 17.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this team is hot, and they're healthy, and Devontae Adams tweeted about Cooper Kupp. Devontae Adams, who says he's the best receiver. Devontae Adams calls himself the best receiver in the NFL. He said Cooper Kupp is the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of him last. Yeah, he gets after it, man.
Yeah. So one more game, the Monday Nighter. Of course, you got the Sunday night game is Green Bay at home against Chicago. Green Bay's an 8.5-point favorite. All right. I don't like that spread because Chicago always tends to make a game nasty. But a couple years ago, Green Bay was up 42-0 at halftime against a crappy Chicago team. So it could be that. Take Green Bay, obviously. No emotion there. I hate the Bears. Everything from Chicago sucks. Booker Earl's been pretty clear on that. And then Monday night,
they didn't invent deep dish pizza either.
No, they didn't. They got no. And then Al Capone, vacation in Wisconsin. All right, so just so everybody knows that he didn't stay in Chicago to have a good time. All right, he went up north. Just saying. Okay. KC at Tampa Bay. Gross game to try to bet on. All right. Tampa Bay. Who knows who's going to show up? Are they going to be able to protect Tom Brady? Because Tom Brady can't move. He has all the weapons in the world, but if you pressure him, it's over. But they're so close. There were so many plays last weekend that you looked at. That's a touchdown, and he missed it by an inch. There's a touchdown, missed it by So close.
It's very
KC,
similar to watching Peyton towards the end.
Right. KC, well, Peyton his whole career couldn't move.
Well, I mean, you know, the neck
Yeah.
couldn't take a hit. He was missing
Yeah.
throws, which was the big one.
Yep. KC is only a 3.5-point favorite.
Oof.
All right. If you're hurting, if you're losing, all right, make your comeback right here. Take KC with 3.5 points. KC has a very good opportunity to go down there and run up 30 points in the first half very quickly. And Tampa can't come back from that.
Everybody
Tampa,
likes beating Brady, and Mahomes, he'll take every single chance he can to bury Brady when he plays him to cement his legacy. That's the kind of kid he is.
All right. Well, hey, Joe, any words? There's no UFC fight this weekend, is there? Or is there one?
You know what? Even if there is, I'm not tracking on it. That's how many he's racked in, but I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll call it a day then. We'll call it a night. Like I said, take your wife out to dinner tonight if she's cooking. If she's not cooking, take her out anyways. Just a tip for all you trash talkers. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. And have a great Thanksgiving. And remember, check out our swag, support the mission. See you guys later.
Happy Thanksgiving, trash talkers.